Hi everyone! So in this video I'm going to show you how to tune your violin, a very important thing to do. Because when you first buy your violin, chances are it definitely won't be tuned. So, as you might remember from the video that I did on the parts of the violin has two different ways you can tune it. You can tune it with the tuning pegs, which is for rough adjustments to get it in the general range that you want it to be in, and you have, or sometimes have, the fine tuning pegs. And the fine tuning pegs are to just do those small adjustments so it's perfectly in tune. So why I said you sometimes have the fine tuning pegs, a lot of violins don't have them. Beginner violins almost always do. The reason is that it adds weight to your violin and it's said to dampen the sound a little bit. Personally, I find them to be so useful that I'm willing to sacrifice that. I only have two on my violin right now on the higher strings because it's harder to get the higher strings perfectly in tune with the tuning pegs. But if you have a full array of them, that's very useful, especially as a beginner player. So I'm just going to go over the names of the strings first because that's what you need to tune them to, of course. So the top string, E, A, D, G. Okay, it's the same order as the strings of the guitar, except it's backwards because the E is the lowest string on the guitar and here the E is the highest string. And when I say highest, I mean in pitch, not in physical place on the violin. So E, A, D, G. So normally when violinists tune their violins, they'll start with the A string, and then they'll go D, G, and then they'll save the E string for last. The reason why is that the E string is the highest one, and when you're tugging on all the other strings to make them in tune, the bridge can move ever so slightly and put the E string out of tune because it's very sensitive. So that's why you leave it for last. So to tune your violin, you could of course use a piano, or you could use another instrument that you know is in tune and tune to that. So what you do then is you'd find the A and you'd play an A and then make sure and then tune your violin until it sounded exactly like that A. An alternate method that you could do, and this is a great method if you're starting out, is to use an electronic tuner. Now you can actually buy actual electronic tuners from a store, and you'll play a note and it'll tell you exactly what note that you're playing and if you're sharp and if you're flat, and then it'll tell you exactly when you're in tune. So it's really useful. I'm just using a tuning app on my iPhone. I find that works. I use an app called N-Track Tuners, I think. Yeah, N-Track Tuner. It was free on the App Store. I don't know, there's probably lots of others that are free. It doesn't really matter which one you get. So I'm just going to quickly tune my A string. So I'm going to open up my tuning app, let it load. I'm going to put it out of tune first. So I'm just going to move my tuning peg so it's way out of tune. And how to tell which tuning peg is connected to which string is you just follow the string up, see where it's wound, and then you turn that tuning peg. Okay, so I'm going to tune my A. The tuner right now is telling me that I'm playing an F flat. So okay. And now sometimes you'll find that happening. I have really loose pegs on my violin. I need to get them fixed, but basically when I let go of the tuning peg, sometimes it'll just slip back. What you can do to prevent that, the pegs are tapered, so the points are smaller and they get progressively wider as they get towards the handle of the peg. So as you turn, if you shove the peg inwards, put some force inwards, don't be afraid to put some force in, it's not going to break. Then that'll make sure it sticks a little bit better. Sometimes even that is a bit hard on my violin, but okay, I'm going to stay. There we go. So now it's telling me my A is a teeny little bit flat because it's showing on the red side. And now it's in tune. And I don't know if you can see that. I'll just show you quickly what that looks like. See that? Is that in focus? When I play the note, or when I sing a note, la, it'll pick it up and it'll tell me what note that I'm playing. And on this side, it turns red, and on this side it turns green. If it's turning green, that means that the note that I'm playing is too sharp. If it turns red, it means the note that I'm playing is too flat. And so what you do to change that is, if it's too sharp, you'll loosen the string, right? It makes sense when you hold a rubber band really tight, it's going to make a higher pitched sound than if you hold it really loose. So we're going to tighten the string with the tuning pegs if the note is too flat and we want it to be higher or sharper or tighter. And if the note is already too sharp, then we're going to loosen the tuning pegs, let the string loosen off, and then hopefully it'll be in tune.